One thing that has absolutely not changed is the media's negative and downright false coverage of President Trump. Violence has ravaged these communities and taken the lives of, again, far too many law-abiding D.C. residents.
I wanted to ask about the 3 U.S. warships that are being sent to Venezuela, and there's 4,000 Marines on board.
I have a few clips for us of White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt stumbling in her attempts to defend this failed second administration of Trump, so buckle up, leave us a like on the video if you can. It helps us out a ton. It lets us know you enjoy the content. We really appreciate it, and let's get right to it.
I wanted to ask about the 3 U.S. warships that are being sent to Venezuela, and there's 4,000 Marines on board. Are you looking at possibility of boots on the ground there?
What I will say with respect to Venezuela, President Trump has been very clear and consistent. He's prepared to use every element of American power to stop drugs from flooding into our country and to bring those responsible to justice. The Maduro regime is not the legitimate government of Venezuela. It is a narco-terror cartel. In Maduro, it is the view of this administration, is not a legitimate president.
I just can't believe how hard MAGA fell for it again, but this might be the worst one. It's hard to really know, that this was the pro-peace ticket, that they would end wars, they would bring back American prosperity and troops. Meanwhile, now every single conflict is escalating, but they were only existing because Democrats bad. Of course, our allies feel ostracized to a whole new level and bullied by us, and Trump has once again threatened U.S. boots on the ground because, remember, we cannot forget him signaling his want to annex Greenland, the Panama Canal, to send troops into Mexico against the cartels, the offer to help annex Gaza, and now sending them into Venezuela, where Republicans again seem to think that if you destroy a cartel, that 3 more won't just pop up. So why not just keep trying what has failed us for decades to bring any results, rather than look for actual solutions to the problem, rather than reactions to the symptoms?
First, I was wondering if you could clarify something President Trump said. He mentioned getting rid of the slums where criminals live. Was he talking about tents or permanent residential buildings? And then the mayor has expressed an interest in clarifying how much of a focus illegal immigration enforcement is as part of this crackdown. Can you say anything about that?
Sure.
And third, any preview on the beautification?
3 questions. I'll try to answer all 3 of them pointedly for you. First, when it comes to what you said and the president said, the slums of Washington, D.C., he's referring to the most dangerous communities, neighborhoods, and streets in this city where, unfortunately, violence has ravaged these communities and taken the lives of, again, far too many law-abiding D.C. residents.
First thing I want to point out that is being absolutely under-discussed in all of this, Trump during January 6th, as he sat back and did nothing while people stormed the Capitol and beat cops, stepped on people's heads, did millions of dollars of damage, all of this, he time and time again said, I had no justification to deploy the National Guard. Now he's not only deploying the National Guard in DC, which is of course where January 6th happened, but he's also done so in LA, and he's threatening to do so in other states as well. So the question is, was he lying on January 6th? Or is he overstepping authority that he knows he doesn't have now? One of those must be true, and either one is entirely damning.
One thing that has absolutely not changed is the media's negative and downright false coverage of President Trump and his foreign policy accomplishments. From the beginning of this entire process, much of the left-wing media has been actively rooting against the President of the United States in the pursuit of peace. Initially, the media ridiculously claimed that President Trump was somehow beholden to Russia for even agreeing to have a face-to-face discussion with President Putin inside of the United States. The media said President Trump was making a grave mistake by, quote, legitimizing Putin. They were aghast that President Trump would treat another world leader like a world leader. The media relentlessly attacked President Trump and claimed he suffered a, quote, major defeat.
Okay, couple things. Trump is beholden to Putin because Putin helped him get elected in 2016, and his actions since then have largely shown that. The problem with Trump and Russia is not that he talks to them, it's the manner in which he treats Putin versus the manner in which he treats our allies. He gets in a shouting match with Zelensky. He forces the South African president to watch videos of black people being racist to make a point, right? He threatens our trade allies over and over and over again, and then he promises to walk out of the Putin meeting if Putin doesn't concede. Then he fails to get a concession and just plays coy with him and talks about the 2020 election. I mean, it's apples to oranges. It's night and day. Nobody could make any comparison there, right, into how he treats our allies and how he treats Putin. And That's so clearly what the issue is. Trump is allowing this conflict to escalate. It's happening right in front of our eyes. The largest strikes into Kiev just happened under Trump, and he did nothing about it. There was no substantive response. And now he met up with Putin, and he didn't say anything to him publicly. But when Zelensky came, he was like, you don't have the cars, da-da-da-da-da. Why is he treating an ally like that, who has said he would come to the table, who has publicly stated he would make these concessions, but he's not doing it to Putin, who has walked back what he said to Trump on the phone and then did the largest strike into Kiev? It makes no sense, and it's why Putin is walking all over Trump as the world laughs at him.